everyone. It's July 20th, 2025. Rainy day in Fredericton, New Brunswick here. It's been an extremely long time since I gave an update. I originally was going to take maybe 2 months off from making videos, and the goal was to scan all the photo albums and then give you an update. Well, that actually took so much longer than I thought. It took 7 months. So I scanned probably about 4,000 photos over 60 to 70 photo albums, and as I was going, more albums came, more history came, more information came. So it was just non-stop scanning, organizing, cropping, labeling, and putting into the PowerPoint database. It took 7 months instead of about 2 as I originally thought. So that's why I haven't made a video for such a long time. But now, at this point, the PowerPoint presentation, if you watch the intro video, you understand what I'm talking about this big database I'm making. My PowerPoint presentation is over 3,000 pages long. It included about 4,000 photos probably, and a different correspondence that I've accumulated since I've been starting. It's been a big project, and I'm sure there's probably a couple thousand more pages left to add to it. And I have so many different pieces left to do, but I officially finished the scanning the physical photos over 60 to 70 albums. I think it was 65, but then it's including little albums and different other things all put together. That is all done. Yesterday, I actually made one of my little day journeys to visiting different people from my past, and I went to Moncton, and I visited 2 individuals. One was in Memram Cook. It was actually an old girlfriend I had whenever I was in grade 11, 1993 or so. We met whenever we worked at McDonald's, and she went to the French school. In Bathurst, there's 2 schools, the English school and the French school. And she was my first girlfriend that lasted more than, say, a date. And I think we went out for 3 months, maybe 2 different times. The last time I probably seen her was in 1993 when we broke up. And she was one of these people on my list that I was always curious about because we had photos and whatever happened to her, and would she even be interested in talking to me. So I reached out in December, and because we weren't Facebook friends, I don't think she got my message because of her settings maybe on Facebook. And a couple weeks ago, she actually answered and said that she got my message and she watched all the videos and she'd love to meet. Yesterday morning, I went to Memram Cook and I met with her and her family. And it was such an interesting thing because I haven't seen her since 1993. We were boyfriend-girlfriend then. We broke up, never talked since. And it's like, okay, what's going on with you? So we had a great talk. It was a couple hours long. And it was just really interesting to reconnect with someone like her. After that, I then went over to Riverview and I visited my sister and her fiance, and then all the kids that are a part of their family, and we had a great visit. So she is actually my 100% blood sister because I was adopted, as I told you before, and I found my family. They lived in Moncton, and my birth father and mother actually stayed together, and they had 2 other children. I found out at the age of 30 that I had a sister and a brother in the Moncton area that I never knew about. I've reconnected a little bit with them, and yesterday afternoon I went to see her and her family, and we had a great afternoon with a barbecue and talking about Pokemon cards with the kids and all these other different things and looking at old photographs and stuff. So it was a great experience. The journey continues. Lots of stuff going on. I'm going to start with giving you guys the big numbers update because every time I do a video, I give an update. Here is the information for you to look at right now. We'll start talking about the photos over onto the right side. I originally had these numbers counted. I counted all the physical photo albums before I scanned them, so the numbers haven't really grown much since then. Photos of just me by myself from 241 to 266. In groups from 1241 to 1302. So about 1,568 photos. Those are photos of basically pictures of me or in groups with other family members. And it's growing, but now we're getting to the digital one, so that number is going to grow for sure. But like I said, I have over 4,000 photos probably scanned, so there's a lot of photos that I'm not in. It's family members, friends, different things like that. This number is not really as important as it used to be whenever I started my project. The number on the bottom, underneath that, is actually more interesting to me. It's pictures that my friends have sent me. My old high school friends, junior high school friends, university friends. It's all photos that they had, things I've never seen before. I think there's probably, I think that number is wrong. I think there's 8 people now that sent me photos. And originally, the last update, 92 photos I got from friends. But now I'm over 200. I think it's 215. It's hard to keep track of because there's different things that they've sent me and stuff. But 215 photos of basically my high school and university days that I now can connect with photos I had. And one situation, for example, is a party we went to in high school, and I think it was university in the summer, and I have photos from my camera, another friend has photos from her camera, and another friend has photos from his camera. It's interesting to see all the different photos together, to see what everyone was thinking, what they were doing. It's like a different viewpoint from what maybe I saw at that party. Really, really cool to watch. I continue to contact new people, but as I'm doing it more now, there are less people to contact because I've already made such a big attempt already. I contacted 92 people so far as part of my project, and 64 people responded in some way. So it could be just a little text, a little message. Some sent a whole bunch of photos, some didn't do anything, didn't have any photos. So that's about almost 70% of all the people I've contacted responded in some way. That's very promising. And when I made my last update, I think in the end of January, I visited 2 people in person, and now I'm up to 14 people. So I've been really busy scanning, visiting people, getting photos from friends, organizing the database, and it's so comprehensive now, but there's still so much left to go. So that's great. The last update is weight. I've actually been doing really good with the whole weight loss thing. My original weight was 338.4 pounds. I am now down to 285.2 pounds. So 53.3 pounds down since Christmas. It's 84.28% of my 2024 self. My wife says she doesn't even really notice it because I guess there was just so much there before, but it's getting jiggly, folks. It's getting jiggly. So hopefully in a couple more months, it's smaller and it'll be more noticeable probably. But I guess if you do watch one of the old videos, you might notice a difference. I don't know. We'll keep going with that. So it's great. I'm having a great time. That's my numbers update and what I did this on the weekend to visit people. One other thing I just wanted to show you is how I'm doing the PowerPoint presentation. Like I say, it's about 3,000 pages long. So just to give you an idea of what I'm doing, I'm just going to show you some examples of what I've been up to. I originally wanted to do it just from my birth until current, but as I got going, older photo albums came. My mother and my father before I was born, whenever it was just my brother. And then older albums came before that with grandparents and different things. I've been putting it all together, labeling it, dating it, putting it in the right places on the PowerPoint. So here's just some examples of what I'm talking about. For example, I start very early. My dad, when he was very young, or even before. The first photo is actually an aerial view of the old house in Bathurst. That's a photo of the old house. The next one is, say, 1956 Christmas. My father's in the photo, and it's his sister's there, Christmas. I have all these older ones, and I'm now putting them all together, and for his generation and his family, this has never been done. So it's actually quite interesting for him to see how this is all rolling. So after that, for example, I have my mother's, similar type of thing. her as a child, her getting older. I probably have about 150 photos for her from this time period. And then we go on to when my parents got together and then they got married, the wedding day. And then after that, before my brother and I enter the family, them doing things with other cousins or relatives, brothers and sisters, things like that. And then 1980, we're both around, and just a picture. So a photo with some written stuff. My mother kept a little book about updates about what I was doing as a child, and I scanned that, added that into it. 1982, us just down by the water. 1987, in Bangor, in Maine, a Paul Bunyan statue. I think that's me standing in the front. 1990, Science Fair, junior high school. I was winner of a prize for the science fair, I think, whenever I went to Fredericton. 1995, high school graduation. 2000, university graduation. So if you can see, I have, like I say, the 3,000 pages all put together, and it just accumulates into this perfect flow of information from early 1900s to 2025 till today. After that, Japan, me standing in front of a vending machine where you could buy beer. Anyone could just walk up there and buy beer. It was pretty interesting. Later in 2020, whenever I went to Thailand and seen some Muay Thai kickboxing. 2005, went to sumo. And then I have all this different correspondence, newspaper stories and history pamphlets you'd pick up if I visited castles or sumo, different things like that. So this is a newspaper clipping of the event I went to. 2005, wedding day in Japan. 2007, birth of my son. 2012, then it gets interesting because, as I said earlier, I can read all my old Hotmail emails from 2006 or 7. So I started to include them slowly, messages from people, so I can timestamp different photos because they've sent me information. This is kind of like opened up first store, and this newspaper story is about when my store got broken into and the newspaper came and did a story on it. And I just continue on and on and on until, say, 2024. And this is us going to just a museum, family trip. And I wrote up a little better. And then in 2025, now, because I've finally caught up, I'm actually keeping more of a journal, a log of what we do as a family. So this would be photos down in Fredericton, and then I wrote about kind of what's going on here in the photo. So whenever I visit people now, and we go to different family events, I'm actually typing up more, almost like a journal, and then I'm adding the photos into it to keep it together. That's the main part of the database, is all of this stuff. But then I also have topicals. And this is quite interesting because I can put together just a topic and then it's all jammed together into a really interesting little snapshot. So for example, take a look here. These are my school day photos. So I have these from, like, say, grade 1 to university. My brother and I, whenever we were younger, these are Sears probably studio photo shots. And then it's more topical, houses. So this is the old family house. The next one is the garage being built in 1977. And then what I've been able to do now is look at old photos and go and say Google Earth or Google Maps and take shots of different locations. So this photo here is the house my mother was living at when she was born in Prince Edward Island. This is 1940s. And I'm like, I wonder if this house still exists today. Well, you find the address, you go on Google Maps, you look around, and you find it. So you can see here, this is what the house currently looks like. And I'm not sure, it says 2023, Google Maps. It's really interesting. I've done this for multiple different houses, for multiple family members, my aunt in the States, the family house in Bathurst, people in Nova Scotia. I have a before and after of an old photo until today. Other topicals, vehicles. So this is someone in front of my father's Mustang back in the 1960s. Snowmobiling, because we have a bunch of snowmobiling photos. Boy Scouts, big in our family. We have beavers. My mother became a leader, and me as a little beaver giving it to her stash whenever she became a leader. This is later on in high school, whenever we got older, still in scouting. And we have a whole bunch, as you know, because you've seen cats in the old videos, a lot of cats in this family. I have topical on cats. My cat as a child, our cats in Japan, cats we have now, whole timeline of this flow of cats. That is kind of how the PowerPoint looks, so you can kind of really get an idea of what I'm trying to achieve here. And there's a couple things left I have to do, so now I have the digital photos to add from our cameras, and all the digital photos from all of our cell phones, and I have more photo albums to get from other family members, different aunts and uncles that have stuff from, say, whenever I was young or when my parents were young, to add to all of this. And then I have to go into the physical correspondence. Oh, we got a cat. As I said, we got another cat visiting. Where are you gonna go, buddy? Okay, take a break. We have, like I said, all my old Hotmail messages. There's hundreds and hundreds of emails that I can then now use to be able to date some of my old photos and give more context to it. The old letters that I talked about before that I had from high school, I haven't even started reading those yet. I've been waiting, because that's going to be really interesting. So I'm waiting until I get all this stuff done to get into that. All that's to come. And that's why I'm thinking it's probably going to be about 5,000 pages in total for this PowerPoint presentation or this history. And then whenever it's all done, it's actually never going to be all done. There's always going to be new stuff. Like maybe I want to add a little history of places we visited, like the Paul Bunyan. Maybe more history about that. Or in PEI, whenever we visited different places as children. Or the Baseball Hall of Fame we went to. Maybe a little bit of history about Baseball Hall of Fame. So I think forever I'll be constantly adding to it. But there'll be a point where I'll have to figure out how I'm going to make sure I keep this forever and it's not lost in some sort of, computer virus or I lose my password and I lose everything. So there'll probably be eventually a physical copy printed, but I'm not really sure. I'm not even thinking about that right now. That is the big update for you. Sorry it's been so long. I had one or two people wondering, where's my update? Where's my update? I'll give you guys another update after I finish getting all the digital pictures in, and I'll give you an update on the photos and if I visited more friends, and also how the wait is going. So hopefully it'll be great. Okay, you want to say goodbye? Here you go. Come on, Kobe. Here we go. It's Kobe. Hi. Hi. Love you. I'm blind. I can't hear. I don't know much, but I'm still living. I love my food. See yous. Bye.